both parties will come out with modalities. We will not keep this matter on the shelf. We saw in some of the newspaper a publication by Comrade Adjero. To the best of our knowledge, Comrade Adjero has a primary backed up by the law of Nigeria, the law of Nigeria. But to the best of our knowledge also, there is no fashion of the NSC, because there is only one NSC that has a certificate of registration. For you to conduct trade union responsibility, you would have been duly registered by the Registrar of Trade Union, an act which is backed up by a certificate that will be issued to you by the Registrar of Trade Union. That certificate, as of today, is in the custody of the only NSC we know, which is led by Section 2 of the Trade Union Act 1978, as amended by the Trade Union Act 1995, I suppose. Back this up. Section 2 is clear to the fact that it is only a body that has been registered as a trade union that can practice as trade union. And Section 51, in fact, actually anticipated a situation where some people that have not been registered as trade union may want to parade themselves as trade union. And that section empowers the government to prosecute any person, any organization that has not been so recognized or registered as a trade union, but parade itself as a trade union or a trade unionist. So, from our own understanding of the law and the practice of industrial, long before now, the government ought to have prosecuted the faces of the so-called fraction of the NLC, because it is a rogue union. It's not supported by the legally. And you see, the law will always be right. The law equally legalizes the fact that where you don't have or the claim that it is representing the workers of that in every jurisdiction organization that will talk on behalf of employer, that will talk on behalf of not to denounce the conclusion which we reach with the legitimate union of the NLC. We were indeed shocked that he went to the extent of slandering Neca by using such words as Neca inducing the trade union to sign an agreement. Our organization has been in existence for 60 years. And we stand to be accused by anybody who has the evidence that we have induced him or I in the course of our responsibility to cast the first stone at us. Because that's not our way. We don't operate that way. It's either we win an argument on the basis of the rule of law and the principle of law, or we prepare to face the implication. We've been on ground over 60 years. We're a reputable organization. We're a credible organization. We don't believe in hanky-panky relating with the union. That's not our way. And I hope from this point onward, having made this point, the appropriate institutions of government that is expected to keep the peace will rein in these rogue unionists. They only recognize as sectoral union, and we are not disputing that, because they still have their certificate of registration. But any other body that comes out to label itself as a fraction of NSC is operating illegally in this environment. And the law, trade union law, which we have quoted, is very clear that government should prosecute such institutions. If government fails to act, government will simply be promoting an environment where nobody will be able to guarantee industrial harmony. I think that's really the gist of this conference, of this press conference, and I'm quite prepared to take any questions or comments or clarification you might want to see. Once again, I want to thank you for your time this morning, for coming over to listen to our own version of this story. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Izzy. Now we go into open house. We take questions from as many of us as have questions on the positions that we canvass by the page. Questions?
I know you don't belong to the rogue union, so feel free to ask.
Okay, that's one. Any other question? That's number 2, 3, 4. Let's take those 4.
From FM Radio Lagos. Already, sir, you said the Joachim faction is a rogue one. Yes, we hear you. But between the two of them, they have taken themselves to the industrial court. And the industrial court didn't say that they should go and settle among themselves. It's in-house something that. And the industrial court did not find Ajero function guilty or somehow. And that's it. Nubife belongs to Ajero faction. I don't know whether in the course of your discussion, NLC, they mean to do that. Maybe they have not talked to Nubife, because Nubife is listening to Ajero faction, not Waba faction. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's quite key. And let me address that. Maybe by the time I address that, we can take account of other questions about the other time. Yes, you are right that. Yes, you are right that before now, both parties agreed to submit themselves to the jurisdiction of the National Industrial Court. The National Industrial Court being a court of facts. Quite unlike the ordinary court that will be looking at technicalities and pure legalities, the Industrial Court will look at the facts. And the Industrial Court must have recognized the fact that these are members of the same family, which is true, they are all members of the same family. And as members of the same family, they will have their differences. So it actually makes sense for the judge to say, okay, let me give you the chance to go and resolve your issues. Because having seen this matter as a family issue, the best approach should be for you to sit down together and resolve the matter. But the truth about it is that they have been on this for almost 6 to 9 months. They've been on it. And they've not been able to resolve these family issues. But we must recognize the fact that these family issues has the implication of affecting the health of the bigger society. And that's why we are caught up in this. Because if the family has been able to resolve this issue, there wouldn't be a funny fashion that will come out to denounce the agreement which we have signed with the party that has the legitimate claim as the head of the family. Really. So for us, we were with the head of the family, with other prominent and respected children of that family. But some other funny and radical children of the same family that do not want to listen to the head of the family as the responsible children have not come out to say, no, we were not party to this. They needed not to have been a party to it, because there can only be one legitimate union at any point in time. And the law supports the Aduba faction as the only legitimate union. And that was the union that we had to relate to. It would have been out of place for us after we had no issue. But we all have been monitoring development in respect of this. They simply have not been able to resolve the issue. And it's high time for the law now to take its position. That does not have any prima facie or legitimate basis for its operation. The law is very clear about this. Section 2 of the law is very clear about this. Section 51 of the law is very clear about this. And I actually expect that sooner than later, this matter should go back to the NLC, it should go back to the NIC, that the NIC can make a legal pronouncement based on the position of the law. Having given the two parties the opportunity to resolve their issues, and they've not been able to do that.
Number 2.
I think one understanding of status quo means that both factions have to stay put on their action. So it means that the both factions are actually illegal. So if you're operating with Alibaba-led NLC as the authentic NLC, it means that Neca is.
They wrote to the National Secretary of the NLC, had a letter from Bife updating them on situations in the banking industry, election situation of the NLC, not the pre-election situation. That is the status quo. If that is not the status quo, the Ministry of Labour with the Register of Trade Union would have come out to withdraw the certificates, which is in the custody of with the authentic NLC. The status quo, because government actually endorsed the outcome of that election. When the government of Nigeria was to constitute, let's say that was recognized. But the truth about it is that, which is quite unfortunate, but it has to be said, in the light of what happened following the system where government can choose and pick depending on government interest. I'm not going to say more than that. Government can choose and pick based on government interest. So, in Abuja, and custody of the certificate of registration, any other body that is claiming to be a central labor union without a proof of registration is a rogue union. Absolutely a rogue union.
Advantage just to have them. How do you think government can come into,
And let's commend them, because the industrial relations issue where industrial first action we expect by the government is for the end and then make its pronouncement. If it makes its pronouncement, it will be binding on everybody. See any person that is
something like this, the NIC that you are advising or calling on down?
Well, other notice is that NIC
reconciliation.
the case is still before the NIC, right? So which experience we are having that this status called them to say, can we bring
back to the court, signed by the two parties, all the parties, it is we've heard you and this is the final. No, the court is not a party.
But I think, but the minister has responsibilities to adjudicate